So people of this time had an idea, and once more, nobody, it was not necessary that they had this idea, but they had it, and they said, we are waiting for the coming back of Christ since 1,000 years, and he has not come yet. Millenarism, yes, exactly. So he must have been he must have a problem, because he had time to come, and so if he is not come, and the problem is that he cannot come, even though he would wish, because the world is no longer worse that he comes back, because we men have let the world become worse and worse. And now, even though Christ would like to come, he cannot. And it's up to us to make the world better so that Christ could decide to come back. So it's a very special thing. It was a change, a complete change of the accent, because in the old Middle Ages, men were waiting the salvation from prayer, and it's why the important man in this time was a monk, because the monk was already almost outside the world. So he prayed, and people made pilgrimage to touch sacred objects. The salvation could come only from God. And after 11th century and the papal reforms, Gregorian reform, the traditional name for that reform is the Gregorian reform, was to say we must improve the world, and for that we need to know it and to organize society to act efficiently on it. So we need a science to know it, and we need a law to organize society. By the way, science exists already. It is Greek science. And law exists already. It is a Roman law. And it's why the popes decided to create the universities. And first of them, the University of Law in Bologna, which is a papal initiative. And the idea was to study this old Roman law, which had quite entirely disappeared during the old Middle Ages, because it was not nobody, because you will be saved if God gives you His grace, but to be honest in commerce or to be exact in the heritage doesn't. Is not important for God, because if God loves you, even though you are a sinner, He will save you. And if He doesn't love you, even though you make very good actions, these actions will not count in His eyes. So the change is that from 11th century on, human nature and human reason has an importance for salvation, because in human nature you have reason, and reason makes men able to know the world and to organize the world by science and law, and therefore to improve the world. So that was the true synthesis between Bible and Greece and Rome, because the Westerners, Europeans, decided to use the Roman law and the Greek science, two achievements of human reason, to achieve the moral and eschatological aims of Bible. If you love your neighbor, you must have more knowledge, and if you love your neighbor, you must have a better justice and a better law. So the science and the use of reason was no longer something, a devil thing. You know, at the time of St. Augustine, a man who is too much confident in human reason is a devil. He's not. This is bad for God because it is a sign of proudness, of human proudness. And after 11th century, on the contrary, what God wants, expects from men is that they use their reason. And you have the explanation of this extraordinary Promethean development of the West from this time, because it was the time of a great development of the European economy, and it was a time also of a geopolitical extension of the West towards the Crusades and the Reconquista of Spain, and also towards the Russians and towards the Slavic world. It was an economic expansion, scientific expansion, and yes, exactly. So that is the fourth miracle, and the last miracle or event or evolutionary leap of which we inherit is the democratic revolutions of modern times, the Dutch Revolution, the two English revolutions, the American Revolution, and at least partly French Revolution, only the beginning. And in all this case, the problem what was that you must improve the world. So you must develop science and better organize the society. But to improve knowledge, you have several means. You can be dogmatic or you can be critical. And to summarize these changes, they were made by people who understood that pluralism, liberties. If you value liberty, it means that you will create pluralism, because if each of us can decide his life, there will be we will be a polycentric system and not a monocentric system. You understand? And they understood that liberties can create, not only do not necessarily create disorder, because of course, if you have several elements in an ensemble, and if each of them is free, it could create disorder. And it would be better that a chief executive tells everybody what he has to do. And if you say they must be free, it means that you will have a polycentric system, a pluralistic system. And the men of Europe during the last 5 centuries understood step by step that this pluralism not only does not create disorder necessarily, but can create much more efficient orders. For instance, science will develop quickly if scientists are free to propose new hypotheses. Okay, so you will have, but there are certain conditions. Conditions is that every scientist publishes what he has found, and the discussion must obey certain rules. But if you are free to discuss, science will go quicker and further. And so, in this case, you understand, pluralism doesn't mean disorder, but order. And it is the same for economy. If you can create your company and you are not obliged to belong to a corporation, for instance, there will be a better productivity and a better division of labor. And it is the same, finally, for politics.